Okay, kids, let's take a little road trip. Not the fun kind. You know, the one with snacks, playlists, bad gas station coffee, even worse, gas station bathrooms. Ugh. No, no, no. Not that kind of road trip. This road trip is through a burnt out corpse of America with your driver, the Wolverine, and his co pilot, a blind Hawkeye. Yeah, yeah, it's going to be one of those, so buckle up. This is a review of the graphic novel Wolverine Old Man Logan. Yes, yes, it's about that time we give a little credit to my friend here himself. So, what's this particular thing all about? Well, this is a comic where Logan trades in his claws for crops, swears off violence, tries retirement. Well, let you know in advance that doesn't work out too well. Spoiler alert. It goes about as well as you'd expect. Think about, let's say it would be like Mad Max with a mortgage, or The Road, the movie with Viggo Mortensen, if he had retractable knives in his knuckles. Or Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood, except the guys you're gunning for are the inbred mutants and a Captain America dressed like a little mustache guy from Germany. Oh, yeah. And of course, as I mentioned before, we're doing spoilers, heavy ones. So if you haven't come across this graphic novel in your travels, well, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. I would love to say this is a story about Logan enjoying retirement and him putting the days of Wolverine behind him. He having quiet mornings with crossword puzzles, herbal tea. Well, no, because you're in for a nasty shock if you think that's what's going to happen. So it all begins. The world has gone wrong. Okay? So here's the setting. The villains, they finally grew some brain cells. How do you ask? Well, after decades of losing and losing to the good guys, they said, hey, let's get organized. They joined forces, slaughtered the heroes, and divided up America like a nice little villain timeshare. Oh, the West Coast? That's Hulk land. That's right. Bruce Banner and his lovely family of irradiated, inbred hillbillies, they now own California. How is that any different from how it is? Anyway, never mind, never mind. The Midwest? That's Dr. Doom's territory. Because, you know, nothing screams Midwest like a metal tyrant who loves capes. Las Vegas? Vegas, that belongs to the Kingpin. No, not Wilson Fisk, but a new Kingpin. Basically a bootleg version of him running around Vegas with the dignity of a strip mall casino. And then there's Washington, D.C. That, my friends, is Red Skull country. The guy made himself president of what was left of the United States, even though the states weren't that united to begin with at the time. He even wears a Captain America costume, which is a bold fashion choice for a little mustache guy. Kind of looks like Skeletor invaded a Spirit Halloween store. And somewhere in all this nightmare landscape, there's Logan. No longer Wolverine, just a tired old farmer trying to make the rent. Yes, Wolverine has a landlord now. And if you're wondering who the landlord is, just Banner's inbred Hulk spawn. Yep, Logan pays rent to cannibal redneck Hulks. Just keep that in mind. Because retirement wasn't humiliating enough. Anyway, so now Logan has become, since he doesn't pop the claws anymore. So now Logan is kind of like a pacifist. So Logan's whole deal here is that he doesn't fight anymore. The claws are retired, as I mentioned before. The berserker rage is on vacation. Pacifist. Why? Because, okay, hold on. This is a big spoiler now. Years ago, Mysterio, you know, the Spider-Man villain with the fishbowl on his head, he tricked Wolverine into killing every one of the X-Men. Wolverine, in a haze of Mysterio's illusions, thought he was fighting enemies, but no! He was slicing and dicing and carving through his friends, his family, his entire world. That's why he swore off the violence. No more popping the claws, ever again. Or will he? Which is both tragic and honestly a little hilarious. Logan, the one guy in Marvel who can always you count on to, give somebody the old stabby stabby, is now with dudes in overalls, fixing fences. It's like, imagine if John Wick opened up a bed and breakfast in Maine by the lake. Of course, trouble comes knocking, and by trouble, I mean blind Hawkeye. You think I was kidding in the beginning? Hawkeye is blind now. Yep, old man Clint Barton shows up, blind as a bat. And then, in addition to that, he's dressed like a washed-up cowboy. He's got a job for Logan, a little delivery gig. Mysterious package, coast to coast, going from the west to the east, blah, 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 blah. And Logan, the money's not coming in. He's not a very good farmer. He's broke, he's destitute. He agrees with Hawkeye. All right, let's do this. And this kicks off the grumpiest road trip in Marvel history. Remember planes, trains, and automobiles? Think like that, except instead of John Candy, it's a blind archer. And instead of laughter, there's trauma, ultraviolence, and, well, you know the rest. So, this is turning into a road trip from hell. Logan and Clint, they hit the road. Along the way, they encounter every freak, every tyrant, every lunatic left in broken America. First, the Ghost Rider gang. Imagine Mad Max biker gang with flaming skulls. They're basically a metal band roadie who survived the apocalypse. Their entire vibe is cosplay meets arson. Now, we get the Kingpin. I guess we're going through Vegas. Not Wilson Fisk, but some new bruiser who took over Vegas. Big dude with a bigger ego. Honestly, he feels less like a crime lord and more like a manager of a shady casino buffet. Dr. Doom, he gets his cameo too, ruling his own little patch of land like Marvel's answer to Kim Jong-un. Doom doesn't do anything halfway. If there's a throne, he's going to want to sit on it. If there's a land to conquer, it's his. Midwest suburbia, yeah, that's Doom's now. And then there's the Red Skull. Dude, this guy hit the jackpot. He actually won. He made himself the president. He's the president now. He even collects trophies from fallen heroes. Captain America's shield, that's his. Thor's hammer, his. Tony Stark's armor, his. Hanging up like a Halloween decoration. And of course, Skull stretched around in Captain America's old costume like some twisted parody. Man, that's terrible. Imagine a little mustache dude, Captain America, actually, don't imagine. It's right in here. When you look at it, it's awful. Story-wise, it's perfect. But here's the thing. Through all these encounters and ups and downs, Logan refuses to fight. He takes beatings. He gets humiliated, swallows his pride, because he swore never again the whole time. He swore it. Now, us as the reader, or you the reader, you're screaming, "Pop the claws, dude!" Damn! But he won't. At least not yet. So, it moves on. Time keeps going on and on and on. Then it happens. What happens, you might say? Well, Logan, after all these misadventures, running into all these villains, running into all these former heroes, or what's left of the former heroes, they left Thor's hammer in the middle of the desert, and since nobody's worthy, nobody could pick it up. Not at all. But Logan finally makes it home after this long journey. After making that money, dealing with Clint, dealing with Hawkeye, and all the nonsense of all the villains in between. Finally makes it home. And well, only to find out his landlords, the Hulk gang, they killed his family. His wife, his kids, all gone. Slaughtered by a bunch of gamma freak hillbillies. And that's it. That's when it all happens. That's when the dam breaks. It busts wide open and the claws come out. Shink! And when I say claws, I mean claws with a capital noise I just made. The sound effect you've been waiting for this entire book, the claws popping, finally happens. And from that moment, the action does not stop. Logan's berserker rage, the berserker rage we've all been waiting for. Years of rage, years of guilt, grief, all explode in one blood-soaked rampage. The Hulk gang, shredded. Limbs flying, guts spilling. This isn't the polished Wolverine from the X-Men movies. No, this is not Hugh Jackman. This is raw, savage Logan. The kind of Wolverine you always knew was lurking under the surface. And once he starts, he does not stop. Clears them all out. This is Logan now. This is Wolverine now. Savage Wolverine. Now, there's only one thing left. Remember, if you think back to your history, where did Logan make his debut? Where did Wolverine make his debut? Fighting who? The Hulk. So now it's Old Man Hulk versus Old Man Logan. And of course, Bruce, he's not happy that his family is gone, but, I guess they're on even ground now. The Hulk himself. Except he's not the hero anymore. Like I said, old man Bruce, he's old, mutated, a grotesque monster, twisted by years of isolation and his own ego, because realistically, nobody could beat him. He's gone full redneck patriarch now, breeding with his cousin, She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters. Remember She-Hulk, attorney at law? Yeah, that lady. They spawn out his little cannibal clan. Yeah, disgusting. Even to cover it. So Logan versus the Hulk, one last time. The fight, it's brutal. Banner literally swallows Wolverine whole. He takes a bite and then swallows him. And you think, well, that's it. Logan's done. You see the book, it's thin, so it doesn't last long. Nope. This is Wolverine. You don't just swallow him and call it a day. Okay, phrasing. You don't do that and think it's over. Logan's claws, they pop out. He claws his way out of Banner's stomach. Yeah, he carves his way from the inside out. The first and only case of acid reflux that killed the Hulk. It's a nasty, cathartic, and unforgettable as it sounds. Logan stands victorious, covered in whatever, green gook, as you can imagine, standing in the wreckage of everything that he's lost. And somehow, the man survives. So, what's left for Logan? Old Man Logan at the end of this particular story. Logan doesn't get a happy ending. He doesn't ride off into the sunset with the family. Unfortunately, family's gone. The world still broken. Villains are still running everything. What's left to do? But Logan? Well, Logan does what Logan does best. He endures. He takes responsibility for the future, for the next generation. Even taking Bruce Banner Jr., one of the little Hulk grandchildren, takes him with him. Because if there's one thing this story proves, is that Logan, he can't escape who he is. He isn't a farmer. He darn sure isn't a pacifist. He's just a man. He's Wolverine. The best there is at what he does, and what he does is pretty darn messy. This book, make sure I turn it right side up. Old Man Logan is a story about guilt. Kind of messy. About what happens when the most dangerous man alive tries to run from his own nature. It's bloody, it's savage, and very, very tragic. And it's darkly hilarious in the worst ways. So remember, you can take the man out of the berserker rage, but you can't take the berserker rage out of the man. Especially if he's clawing out of the Hulk's stomach. And that's the Old Man Logan review, my freaky darlings. And hope you enjoyed it. Going to be busy the next couple of days, heading over to Anime NYC. Hopefully, see some of y'all there. If not, hey, it's the thought that counts. So, just in case you need a little quick overview of the Rogues Gallery who are in Old Man Logan, just for a quick mention, so when you're making a reference to the book, you could go right to those pages. There's the Hulk gang, the offspring of Bruce and Jennifer, Banner and She-Hulk. There's the Red Skull, President of the United States. Mysterio, yeah, he's the one who caused the X-Men's massacre. Kingpin, not Wilson Fisk, the new dude, a black dude. Ooh, diversity. Then you've got Ghost Rider, and then you've got Doctor Doom, a territorial, tyrannical warlord. So that's all there is. Hopefully, I'll catch you in another time, another place. Hope you enjoyed the review. Be easy.